One of the biggest advantages that successful corporations and companies have over those that aren't as successful is their ability to adapt to new environments. So think of the Darwinian finches, that the finch evolved different types of beaks depending on the type of environment it lived in. So if it was in an environment where there were a lot of nuts and not a lot of insects, it might develop a thicker, larger beak to crush nuts. Where if it was in an environment where there were not a lot of nuts and a lot of insects, let's say hiding in wood, they might develop pointier, slimmer beaks in order to grab those insects inside pieces of wood. And that ability to choose based on the environment what type of beak we will have is the essence of business strategy, which is basically how will we seek to thrive in this environment? Will we choose a larger beak or will we choose a thinner beak? And luckily we're not finches. So as the environment changes, we can choose to change our beak, to change our strategy and to align better with the conditions that we see in this environment. So while the environment is changing, and it's changing at a rate faster than ever, the rate at which it changes is increasing. A couple of years ago, we didn't have the internet. A couple of years ago, we didn't have AI, all these new things, social media, Google reviews, all these ways of growing a business weren't there before. And we see this in organizations like Blockbuster, who were massive in size, yet went out of business seemingly overnight just because another competitor called Netflix saw that the environment was changing towards a digital and online world and just realigned their strategy, changed their beak to be more aligned with the new age. So adaptability is a huge advantage when it comes to the changing environment that we live in today, the exponentially quickly changing environment. So this concept of adaptability, how can we integrate it? How can we leverage it? And it's going to come from understanding, one, that the future is arriving, that the future is going to be different whether we like it or not from the current moment. And there's going to be two ways that we try to align with that future environment, because it takes time to change our strategy. If we try to align a strategy that's perfect for today, what will happen is by the time we're ready for today will have passed and it will be a different environment. So we have to think, what will the future be like? Then build our strategy for the future so that when it arrives, we are aligned for it and we are ready to go, and then we can ride the wave there. All right, so there's two strategies that people take. The first is to see, what are the others doing? What are my competitors doing? What are they doing? What's working right now? And they seek to copy it. In essence, they're looking in the rearview mirror and trying to use that as a template for what they should be doing in the future. And of course, that doesn't work so well because the future is always different. The alternative way that I seek for us to take is to learn two things. One is to understand principles. What are the principles for how things behave? For example, gravity. If I drop something, it will fall. That will be consistent throughout time. And the second thing is going to be observing trends. How are things changing? What are they changing towards? This gives us the ability to predict to a certain degree with confidence what the future will be like, so that now, understanding principles and seeing where the trends are headed, we can leverage the principles to think, okay, if this is the future that's going to arrive, how should I be prepared in order to best thrive with it? Let's say we see in the future there's going to be a lot of nuts and we have a beak that's meant for insects. Then understanding principles, and we can see that trend coming, and then understanding principles, we can start to develop a thicker and wider beak. In essence, this is the same with organizations. What will the future be like? What will the environment and the conditions be like? What will that look like? And what are the principles so that we can thrive in it? So in a marketing and dental context, right, we see what will the future be like and how can we engage there in order to thrive best. And look, based on the trends, based on what we're seeing right now, we're seeing that people are really fixated on marketing. on spreading awareness, on attention, and people aren't as focused on creating alignment, becoming better, working on the things that matter. People focus on advertising, they don't focus on the internal stuff. And we see that advertising as a medium for getting people's attention is worsening. People are leaving advertising. They're choosing to opt out of advertising. They're getting ad blockers. It's more convenient. It's better for the people. And so we have this environment where we see that we can't work on advertising anymore, and attention and awareness is giving us diminishing returns. And the competitors and the alternatives haven't been working on creating alignment, because I skipped this, but the principle of marketing is that attraction, why people will come to you, is from alignment times awareness. So alignment is, do they believe that you represent what better dentistry is? That's alignment. If they believe that if you align with their beliefs of good dentistry, you have strong alignment. If you don't, you have poor alignment. And awareness, do they even know that, do they know that about you? If you are strongly aligned but they aren't aware that you are, then what does it matter? All right, so alignment and awareness. Everyone focuses on awareness. Not many people focus on alignment. So if we focus on alignment because the competitors aren't, and the future arrives, what does the future look like? Now, communication is also easier than ever. That's a massive trend that we've seen. From sending a telegram or like messenger pigeons from horse carriages to now we have instant email, instant texting. Communication is cheaper and easier than ever. And so word of mouth, this thing where the people are empowered to spread their word about their experiences, has become exponentially more powerful. And so we can leverage this, and it's going to become easier and easier as things go on. The ability for people to find information that they never had before, AI search and all this stuff is going to come. Information won't be a barrier anymore. And so everyone who's been focusing on the awareness aspect of attraction hasn't done the work of working on the alignment aspect. And so awareness will no longer become a competitive advantage. And so when that happens, it's all going to come down to who's the most aligned. And that itself is the work that we have to do in order to take advantage of the future that's coming. All right, so I urge you to do that work. If you want to do that work, I'm going to put a link in the description. It's going to be a free course on how to do exactly that. I hope you check it out. Thanks for watching this video.